We've got the 987S behind me, as you can see. I wanted to go over some stuff today, get right into the video and explain to you why you maybe shouldn't buy a newer Cayman. We have technically an older Cayman behind us. I'm gonna dig right into them little secrets for you today. I don't really have an accent like that, so I'm gonna stop talking like that and be normal. Let's get into the video, explain this to you. Stay till the end, I'll give you a reason why maybe you should buy a new Cayman. Stop before you get super crazy and start hazing me and coming at me in the comments. Look, some people just like the 981 better, some people like the Cayman better, some people like the 911 better. I'm a little mixed. I like them all. I actually like the 987 the most out of all of the cars because it takes a lot of parts, a lot of soul from an actual 911. And you can tell when you drive it, it's very raw. You don't get that in some of the newer cars, but that's not really, well, that's kind of a reason, but I'm not gonna use that as an actual reason. First, before we even start the car, I wanna start the car, and this is a Soul Performance Products exhaust. This is a catless header, long tube header exhaust with basically essentially a straight pipe. It's got the mufflers, but it's pretty much just a straight pipe. The mufflers are there to reduce drone, which it does exceptionally well. If you're interested in an exhaust like that, shoot me an email. I can help you out too. I don't work for them. I'm just a huge affiliate for these guys because, as you can see, if you check videos back, I'm just a customer and I really love this company. They've made an amazing system for the 987 and for all these other Porsche models out there, 991.2, 991.1. I'm not gonna make this an exhaust video. I always tend to because I'm so hyped up over this, but let's just get a little exhaust startup on this car before we get into it. Then I'll hop in the car and explain to you everything else, all my other reasoning. And trust me, might be long-winded, just stick with me here if you're interested in buying a Cayman or you're interested in any Cayman, yeah, this is a video for you. So just watch until the end, trust me, trust me. See what I mean? This exhaust is great. You gotta hit them up. You gotta hit me up, whatever. I mean, just hit me up for questions. You can buy the exhaust on the website for any of these models. But whew, before we get into everything else in this video, brief disclaimer for any of you new viewers that aren't already subscribed to the channel. When I was new to YouTube, I didn't know what subscribing meant. I was a little off-put by it. I thought it was kind of weird. Oh God, AC invasion, hold on. Okay. Subscribing is free, it does nothing. It's not like you're buying anything. All it does is if you subscribe down below, hit that red rectangular button and tap the notification bell. What that is gonna do is that is going to have you get notified whenever I make videos. And if you can't subscribe because you don't have a YouTube account, if you have a Gmail address, there's a little button somewhere, I think up in this area. Just create an account. It's free, it takes seconds. And that way you can see all these videos. I'm just doing that to help you out. We are the most aggressive Porsche and supercar and everything else car-oriented platform, organization, whatever on YouTube and everywhere else. We're not just YouTubers. I'm not a YouTuber. We do everything. Supercars of Philadelphia is a media and production company, but enough blabbering about that. Let's get into what you're here for. And trust me, there are probably 2 or 3 reasons why you would want a newer Cayman. I promise you that. I promise. If not, list your comments below. Let me know if you think I'm wrong. I'm gonna be pretty accurate with this because I've been through all these cars. I've tracked all these cars. I know how they handle. I hope this AC isn't too loud. All right, number 1. Now it goes without saying, if as an introductory reason, if you're going to buy a Porsche, if you've been looking into a Porsche, chances are you probably like the styling of the 911. More often than not, you've been looking at a 911, and perhaps some people opt for the Cayman. There are 2 reasons why people opt for Caymans. A, because it's the entry level, lesser expensive, or because you are going to be tracking the car heavily, or even a little bit, and you want to offset track expenses with that. Or you're getting a model of Cayman that potentially, like a GTS or a GT4, or some type of manual special edition, like an R or something like that. There are a ton I can go through. This isn't a video for that. And you are trying to minimize depreciation and just save some money while you drive a nice car that's pretty fun to drive. Now, what would make you want to go for the 987.1 over, which is the 2005, 2006 to 2008 models, over a newer 981 or a 718? Now, I'm gonna rule the 718 out, and this is, I'll say this up front, if you're looking for straight up numbers on paper, even though Porsche is pretty conservative with this stuff and almost all these numbers are different in real life, not that they're worse, they're usually better. It goes without saying that chances are you are most likely going after that flat six sound, and you just don't get it in the 718. The 718 has a very, very nice interior, which looks modern, looks up to date, not too far off from the 981, but at the end of the day, that sound kind of kills me, and I hate to do this, but I'm kind of canceling the 718 out from the get-go because of that exhaust note. At that point, for that price, I'm going to end up getting a 911. I'm sorry. I apologize for all of you Cayman diehards out there, and I have a Cayman too. I'm an enthusiast. I love this car. I love Porsche. I'm not really by any means a fanboy. It's definitely coming in here. It's growing on me to the point where I'm getting there. Porsche is one of the more respected brands, in my opinion, or respectable brands. 718, you're kind of ruled out because there are just other options that make more sense for that price, and some of them even being other companies. Like, look at the C7 Z06. It's such value in there, but I can't really get over that sound from like a Z06 or something like that in that range, or an F-Type, when you got that flat six just roaring, just howling out the back. You heard the exhaust. It's incredible. It's incredible. So we have that ruled out. The 981. Now the 981, it looks more like a Cayman, a modernized Cayman, than it looks like a 911. It definitely will not get mistaken for a 911 unless whoever is doing so is completely unaware of vehicles, which that's okay, that's fine. I know there are people out there who don't care. I'm like that with football. I don't really even know what's going on with football sometimes. I understand you got to get the ball from one side of the court to the other, and there's like court, see, field. I'm terrible. I'm not even gonna get into it. I'm just gonna embarrass myself. What I'm getting at is there are some people that just don't know, and I'm not saying to buy a car because it's going to look like you own another car for much less money, but it doesn't matter. At the same time, it kind of does to some people. So if you are one person that is like, oh wow, I want to spend as least amount of money and look super rich, and I'll make another video on this because people ask me all the time about this stuff. I'm gonna make a video like top 5 cars that are cheap as hell but make you look rich to some. Essentially, a 987, let me just explain this. I have had so many people, because of my exhaust and my wheels being black and everything, come up to me and my taillights and pull up to next to me in a stop sign and go, wow, is that one of those expensive Porsches? And I mean, like, that's subjective, very subjective, but no, it's not, I don't think. But I think what I know he's talking about, I know what he's getting at when he says expensive Porsches, he thinks it's like a GT3, or not a GT3 RS because I don't have that crazy wing or those louvers, but this gets mistaken for a GT3 quite often, whereas most of the time people are even say, man, I really want that I want a GT3 just like that. And I look at them, and sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes I just nod. Depends on the mood I'm in, but normally I'll say this is a mid-engine Cayman. Not a GT3. Put GT3 parts on it, doing that. Not a GT3. And they laugh and chuckle and they're like, wow, it looks just like one. I'm like, yeah. It's because the 987, and this is just gonna be a leeway into this too, 987 is the most, point 1, is the most 911-esque you can get out of the Caymans. It feels so much more raw when you're driving it. Even on street, you really feel on track, especially when I had a steering wheel, an aftermarket steering wheel that actually negated my PSM. My insurance is gonna love to hear that. I hope they don't watch this video, but it's back on, everyone. PSM, you can turn it off. Now, when you do that, it still isn't fully off. Not even on the 97.1. The 0.2, really not, especially if it's automatic. But you just press the button and it comes back on. Now, I've done 55 track days or so, almost 60 track days in 2017. Definitely gonna dial down the track days this year, but I'm gonna try to film many more of them for you, just because I'm so busy getting this facility built over here. That's why we're in the woods, and that's why the car's in a tent at the moment. Long story, just subscribe for more if you don't already know. If you do, thanks for holding on to the ride, and we got a fun year ahead of us. But before I get too sidetracked, this car is so raw on track and it's so 911-esque, but it's mid-engine. It's the closest thing to an RSR you're gonna get other than an RSR on the street. And we're talking a big jump in price. Now, if I had an RSR, I wouldn't track it because personally, look, I'm confident enough, I don't think I'm gonna crash this car, but I always take preventative measures as if I was probably going to. And what I mean by that is once you get overconfident, that's when you start to mess up and make mistakes. But I do everything within my limit. But if this car ever did get crashed, it's okay. It's okay. That's not gonna break me because this is a $40,000 Cayman. Whereas if I had a 911 RSR and I crashed that, yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I don't even know if insurance would cover that, but if it did, that'd be great, but still, I'd probably be in the hole somewhere. To round that up, what I'm trying to just get to is, I just wanna let you know that this car is so raw, and it's more raw than the 987.2. I love the 987.2. It's not as much of an upgrade from the 0.1 at all, in my opinion. It's a bit of a facelift, and it's got the daytime running lights and the tail lights, but I like how this sits as it is better than that. The 987.2 is DFI, and it sounds a lot throatier. DFI gives some benefits, but realistically, man, for the sound that this car provides, I think this sounds better than some of the newer GT3s when this is straight pipe like it is. It sounds crazy. With that being said, I'm ruling out the 987.2. So, and what I really mean by this video is an older Cayman like a 987.1, not a Boxster. I'm just not crazy about Boxsters, but they're cool. They're cool. I get it. If you have a Boxster, I'm not knocking it. It's just I don't care for the convertible types. I'm not really a convertible guy unless I got a Boxster Spider. I'd love a manual white Boxster Spider with a black or red interior or something like that. It'd be great. I'd rather the full black with like the red seatbelts and stuff, but we're rolling out the 987.2. Cayman 981, the 981. Beautiful car, beautiful car. There's something about it that's that doesn't sit right with me, and what it really is Porsche is kind of squishing the 911 or even just this Cayman 987 and updating it, modernizing it, making it a little bit more modern. But I really like the length that the 987 has from certain angles, whereas you don't really get that on the 981. The 981 has that awesome fuel overrun, but again, that 6-cylinder, flat 6, just, it doesn't do things for me that this car does for me. And maybe you'd feel the same. Also, something else to throw out there is, and I've said this before, I'm beating a dead horse to all my normal viewers, but anyone that's new watching this, because that's what this video might get, some new people, is you can put so many 911 parts on this vehicle and make it such a performer on the track. I, through the driving school and through other companies that I've driven with, have driven so many basically fully modified GT3 mid-engine Caymans, and if that is confusing you, what I mean by that is the control arms were replaced, all these other parts were replaced, the throttle body, everything was moved from the GT3 to the Cayman. So many hand-me-down parts that you can get. So many of these small, meticulous points that add up that it's really not that many, it's just a few, but I wanted to have a nice little face-to-face conversation with you here and just talk to you guys. I like how some of you have commented in the past saying that it seems like we're just talking, just bros, talking back and forth. I don't think I'm anyone special. I'm just here with the camera and my car talking to you, and maybe you're on the way home from work, or maybe you're just chilling at home eating dinner, or maybe you just accidentally found me and never want to watch my stuff again. That is fine. I hope you do though. I hope you come back. And I think since you clicked on this video, your search engine optimization, pretty much it's gonna just recommend you my videos anyway, so you might be screwed. But ultimately, I'm gonna leave you off with this. The reason why you might wanna buy a newer Cayman and not an older Cayman. Do you see this? This stuff right here? We have a CD player. So if you're interested in listening to your own music and not just driving the car straight up, I have other vehicles, so this vehicle, this isn't the only thing that I'm driving. Do daily drive this a lot because I choose to. I don't listen to the music as much in here as I do in other cars. This has a banging stereo, radio, whatever you want to call it, sound system. It's good. It's a Bose. It's the Bose Premium. It is so good. But sometimes I just listen to the car's exhaust because I don't really have any other choice because I can't plug my iPhone in or anything. In 2008, this was like a weird Stone Age odd thing because there's no cassette, there's no Bluetooth. There should be Bluetooth, but there's not. But there's just a CD player and the radio. If you want good infotainment and you want like modern tech and stuff, this isn't the car for you. This car is very raw. The 987, not the car for you. Very, very raw. Very, very much so of a kind of a bare bones optimized vehicle. I don't really mean bare bones in a bad way because a lot of people that get in my car, they think this is like a 2012 or 2013, which I don't know how because you have these right here too. The newer 981 has a much better infotainment, touchscreen, whatever. If you have that, it's a lot better. Might not be a touchscreen, I forget. That could be a reason. That could be a very, very big reason. If you're daily driving this car and you're just using it as a commuter car and not tracking it, maybe you want the 981. But at the same time, if you really want that awesome exhaust sound, it does sound good. The GTS sounds good. The S sounds good. Even the bass sounds good. They sound all right. They just, this is all me. Anyone that owns a 981 out there that's watching, trust me, I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying, you own your car because you like the sound of it. I own this because I like the sound of it. But maybe you would agree. I don't know. Maybe you would agree. You do think the 987 is one of the better sounding ones. Just like I think the Murcielago sounds better than the Aventador when they're straight piped. Sounds really good. I'm gonna leave you off here. We got some other videos coming out this week. So again, subscribe down below if you are not, and turn on that notification bell. Turn on the notification bell, and I will catch you later. I don't know what else to say. All my Instagram and all that stuff, go follow me. It's gonna be like, yeah, it might be on this side right after this because we're gonna roll an outro.